Our biggest monthly expense is the rent that we pay for this apartment in Oakville. What would be the bare minimum salary that you should expect to earn if you're planning to live in Canada? And if you're wondering how you can also get a job which pays you this much salary, what's up YouTube? It's Shivansh here. Welcome back to my channel. Today's video is going to be all about numbers because today we are going to talk about our monthly expenses living in Canada as a family of two. So if you're someone who's planning to move to Canada in the near future, or if you're already in Canada and you just want to compare, then this video will give you a pretty good idea about how much you can expect to pay every single month in the form of your living expenses, which will one, help you prepare for your move to Canada both mentally as well as financially, and two, it will give you a pretty good reference point which you can compare against your living expenses in Canada and see if you can reduce your living expenses by cutting down on certain things. And towards the end of this video, I will also give you the bare minimum salary that you should definitely aim for, that you should target for if you are expecting that your monthly expenses will be very similar to ours. But before we begin, please make sure to hit the like button and also subscribe to my channel if you haven't already, because your support is extremely important for the growth of this channel. And if you like and share this video with your friends and family, then YouTube will show this video to a lot more number of people, and that will help my channel in a big way. So please make sure to do that. With that being said, let's start this video. Let's start this video by talking about some of our variable expenses. Now for us, there are only two types of variable expenses. One is food and the other one is shopping or miscellaneous expenses. Now speaking about food first, I try to split it in two other categories. One is grocery expenses and two is eating out expenses. So on groceries, we spend about $350 every single month, and that includes your fruits and vegetables, bread, milk, etc. And we spend about $400 every single month on eating out. Now I know that our eating out expenses are slightly on the higher end, and you can certainly reduce that expense by just cooking more at home and getting more groceries, but both of us are pretty busy these days and we have some weird working hours, and because of that we tend to eat from outside a lot more than we would like to. But this is basically what our current breakdown is, and you can say that we spend about $750 every single month on groceries and eating out combined. Now the second category is miscellaneous expenses, and this can include basically shopping for clothes or any household items or just any small one-off expense that we might incur in a given month, and we generally try to restrict our miscellaneous expenses to about $350 every single month. Now it's possible that in some months we might end up using the entire $350, and in other months we may not end up using the entire amount, but the average amount that we've budgeted for miscellaneous expenses in a given month is $350. Alright, so now let's move on to our fixed monthly expenses. Now these are the things that we have basically no control on, and come what may, we'll have to spend this amount every single month if we just want to live in Canada. So I've divided our fixed expenses into three categories, number one of which is transportation. So if you don't already know this, I live in Oakville, Ontario, which is basically 35 kilometers from Toronto downtown, and since I work in downtown Toronto, I have to commute to my office 4 times a week, and I use public transportation for that. So I spend about $450 every single month on public transit. And in addition to that, I also own a car, so my monthly fuel expenses are also about $250. And thankfully, since I live in Oakville, my car insurance premium is not crazy high, and I spend about $210 every single month on my car insurance plus my renter's insurance. So in total, I spend about $910 on my transportation expenses. Now moving on to category number two, which is our monthly rent. Now, just like any other person living in Canada or pretty much anywhere across the world, our biggest monthly expense is the rent that we pay for this apartment in Oakville, and it's easily about 50% of our total monthly expenses, which is crazy to think about. So we pay about $22.50 every single month for this 2-bedroom apartment. It's a pretty nice apartment in Oakville in a pretty nice neighborhood, so no complaints there. And we've been living here for a few years now, and that's why our rent is only $22.50. But if you're trying to rent a similar apartment in today's time in Oakville, Mississauga, even Brampton or Toronto, then it's easily going to cost you about $3,000 every single month, which is definitely quite a big jump from what we are paying right now. So if you're looking to rent in today's time, then make sure to include this consideration in your budget planning and then plan your move accordingly. Now, category number 3 is utilities. Now, keep in mind that the $22.50 that I just mentioned earlier is only for the rent of this apartment, and we also have to pay for utilities on top of that basic rent. Now, these utilities include various things such as our home internet plan, which is about $100 every month, our gas and hydro expenses, which is basically the amount that we pay for our water and electricity consumption, and that is around $80 every month. And the third one is our mobile phone expense, which is about $105 for the two of us. So with that, we pay about $285 every single month in the form of expenses for utilities. So if we do a grand total of all these expenses across all these different categories, then it comes out to be around $4,550 every single month for a couple living in the Greater Toronto area. So if you're someone who's planning to move to Canada, then this is basically how much you can expect to pay every single month in the form of your living expenses. But keep in mind that your rental expenses might be significantly higher than us because the rents have just gone up like crazy over the last 2-3 years. And now, before I tell you what would be the bare minimum salary that you should expect to earn if you're planning to live in Canada with approximately $4,500 every single month in living expenses, pause this video right now and let me know your guess in the comments below before proceeding. Alright, so the bare minimum salary that you would need to earn will be about $85,000 per year, which will help you pay about $4,500 every single month in your living expenses. Now keep in mind that this pre-tax salary of $85,000 is just the bare minimum, and you will only be able to break even, which means that you will not be saving pretty much anything by the end of the month. Now getting a job with a salary of about $85,000 per year is definitely doable in Canada, especially if you're a skilled professional. And if you're wondering how you can also get a job which pays you this much salary or even a lot more than this, then please make sure to subscribe to my channel and also follow me on Instagram at Singla119, because I post a lot of informative videos on both Instagram and on YouTube about career development, getting a higher salary, getting a great job in Canada. And keep in mind that this $85,000 is just one person's salary. So if you are two people in a household and both of you are working, then you can basically live off of one person's $85,000 salary, and the entire salary of the second person can be saved and invested into various assets such as real estate, investing in the stock market, or even buying your first house in Canada. And even though Canada has become a lot more expensive over the years, but this video should give you the hope that your monthly living expenses are still manageable with a salary of about $85,000 per year, which is around the median household salary in Canada. So I hope you guys found this video to be useful. If you have any questions, then let me know in the comments below, and also make sure to follow me on Instagram at Shivansh119. Also make sure to hit the like button and subscribe to my channel if you haven't already, because I post a lot of videos about studying and working in Canada. And with that being said, I'll see you guys in the next video.